All right, we're back. Another episode of the Note Investing series where we're going to dive in and look at kind of an A to Z situation on getting started in notes. We've talked about why to do notes, what to look for, collateral file, what's in the collateral file, investment strategies, fundraising, due diligence. I want to talk right now about a couple things, payment history and servicing notes. Those are two things, they tie right into the due diligence platform or the due diligence process of things you want to look at. But they needed their own video because they're important. They're important. So everything, why do I look at payment history? Obviously, it's to develop to show, has the borrower been paying on time or not? How much money is owed is going to be in the payment history, and to get an idea of the story. And that's really what it's about, is you're trying to put together the story of buying a loan when you are looking at payment history and you're looking at servicing notes. You want to understand the backstory, and the best way to do that is look at payment history and look at the servicing notes. So what is it? Payment history is obviously whenever a borrower makes a payment to your servicer, they write it down, record it, journal entry it, and keep it there as in their record books, because you're always going to need those. And the payment history, or not the payment history, the servicing notes are anytime communication happens with the borrower, or anytime there's communication on your loan, your servicer should be taking notes and recording notes in there, so you as the investor can go back in at any given time and see what's happened over the past day, 2 days, weeks, or months, years, and see what's going on, or if you're potentially going to be buying a loan, to get an idea of the history. It's very important. I would say the servicing notes are as important as the payment history, and it will tell you potential exit strategies within that asset. And I can give you an example. If you've been listening to our podcast, you've heard me talk about it, but I bought a loan it was actually a contract for deed off of PaperStack, where deeply delinquent, like 4 years delinquent, and it was almost at 100% of the UPB. Maybe there was an extra, it was like 35 grand, it's been a while. 35 grand of was the UPB, and I maybe paid 30 for it. The total payoff was 40,000. So there was not a lot of spread there. Not something you look at it and like, well, that's just going to be good luck on that. It's a base hit. But the property value, the as-is value was, I felt 100, 110, with houses being fixed up in the 120. It was like 150 is what houses were fixed up for, 150, 160. So it's one of those things where you look at it and you're like, well, why would you even buy that? Well, I got the servicing notes. I started looking at the servicing notes, and in the servicing notes it said, borrower willing to sign deed in lieu. Several references. Borrower has paperwork for deed in lieu, and then borrower went dark. So I first checked to make sure the borrower's still alive, but I was like, look, this lady wanted to sign the house over. I'm going to buy this loan because I know worst case I'll foreclose on it. It'll probably sell at auction. Maybe I get lucky and nobody buys at auction, or maybe I get really lucky and she agrees to sign the house over to me and I can avoid the whole foreclosure thing. Title's clear. So I ran my due diligence. I was like, well, I could sign a deed in lieu of foreclosure. There's no other liens, no tax liens, none of that. And so that's what I did. I purchased a loan and reached out to the lady and I said, hey, are you interested in signing a deed in lieu? We just bought your loan. She's like, yeah, absolutely. I was trying to do this a year or two ago. I was like, well, what happened? She's like, well, the attorney on the file, whoever they were, I didn't like him. He was rude. So guess what? I just said I'm not going to answer his phone calls, and consequently not going to answer the servicer's phone calls. So that's why it's very important to look at the servicing notes and the pay history. It's to put the story together. You could read from that in that case study. You can read and see that, like, look, this thing was primed for a deed in lieu. The story was telling me that, like, they weren't making payments, they moved out, the house was vacant, and that they were going to sign the house over, and the borrower was still alive. So, like, they had emotionally checked out on the property. Now it was just incentivizing them and you could fill in the rest of the story. It's like, okay, there is an opportunity here. So payment history, let's look at that. Let's start there. And then, we went forward. You see why you want to look at the servicing notes, because it's going to tell you what's going on with the loan. So on the payment history side, if we're looking at performance on pay history, you say the person selling it is telling you it's a performing loan. I want to go in and I want to look at the past 12 to 24 months of payment history to see, are they actually paying on time? And what I mean on time is, the nature of these loans is people either are going to pay it before the due date, and those are the really good ones. They pay, it's due on the 1st and they're paying, on the 28th or the 29th. The people who are going to pay within 5 days of the due date, so they might pay on, due on the 1st, they're paying on the 6th. There's the people who are going to pay on the 14th because they know on the 15th they're getting a late fee. And then there's the people who are in the rolling 30s who, look, they're going to pay you, but they're like, look, as long as I don't go 30 days late, or maybe they are 30 days late, that's kind of the nature. And you have to figure out where you're comfortable. Industry standard on a non-performing loan is it's 90 days past due. I'm not comfortable with 90 days, somebody who's rolling 60. Obviously, I like people who pay early, but I'm comfortable with somebody like, look, if they're paying by the 15th, that's fine. Rolling 30, I start to knock down the price on what I'm going to pay for because I'm like, look, there's potential risk here. And that's all we're doing at the pay history is we're trying to establish risk. What's my risk on this? Rolling 60, there's a lot of risk. I got to factor that into my payment history or factor that into my purchase price. Expect to pay more for somebody who's paying early. That's just the nature of it. Lower the risk, probably going to have lower the yield. That's just, come on, that's should be common sense. But by doing that, you're looking at the story. You're getting the story. Are they paying early? Okay. I can put the story together on what's going on with this loan. And then I can take my servicing notes and I can couple it with the pay history. If they're paying 30 days, rolling 30 days late or rolling 60 days late, I want to look and see what's going on with my collection efforts. I'm looking to see, are the servicers getting them on the phone? Are they answering the phone? That's another thing, If you have somebody who's continuously paying, 15 to 30 days late, but they're answering the phone every time, look and see what's the conversation. The servicers will always ask, why are you late? Take it into account. If it's an issue where somebody lost their job, maybe they're back on schedule. You have to factor all those things in. So again, pay history, servicing notes, it's super important to look at those things. And as much as you're trying to check the box, are they performing, are they not performing, you're ultimately, for me, trying to tell what's the story of the loan and trying to put all those inputs into your own formula or calculations and determine, like, look, is this going to be a loan that I'm going to, if I'm buying a performance here, am I going to be able to set it and forget it, or is this a potential headache in the future? Or if it's a non-performing loan, look, do I see some exit strategies that somebody's not seeing because they're not looking at the servicing notes? So that's it. Servicing notes, pay history, very important. Tell the story. Find out the story. Get to the bottom of it. Do your Sherlock Holmes things and try to put the pieces of the puzzle together. So we'll catch you on the next episode.